Alrighty. Good morning. I see we're getting the last few coming in. I am going to call us to order though. It is 9:30 and I am calling this August 21st, 2026 panel meeting of the Employment Training Panel to order. I feel like I've got an echo. Yeah. I'm going to try and move the computer and see if that does it. No, I still have an echo.
It's echoing just a little bit.
Let me try and move it that way. Is that better? No. I'm on an echo without knowing it. Okay. We'll see if we can fix this. So you guys do roll call. Do you want to do roll? Do you want to do housekeeping and we'll see if we can fix this. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the August 2026 panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the hearing room and in order to avoid the persistent disruptions of the proceedings, please do not stream to your mobile device or connect to the Zoom platform as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person or presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly and directly into the microphone. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raised hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you'll be unmuted. When providing comment in person or online, please speak clearly, state your name, title, and the company you are representing, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Lastly, to ensure a respectful and professional environment, please keep the side conversations to a minimum while inside the hearing room. If you need to have a discussion, please step outside to avoid disrupting the meeting. We'll now proceed with roll call. Douglas Tracy. Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Present.
Mike Greenlee.
Present.
Emily Desai.
Present.
Chair Betancourt, there are 6 members present. There is a quorum. Also present, Jessica Grimes, Executive Director. Kamani Armstrong, Assistant Chief Counsel. Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director of Technology, Chief Information Officer. And Laura Campbell, Chief Deputy Director. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think I've lost the echo now because you had a slight echo as well. So I'm just checking.
Let me check online real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep speaking.
I will try and keep speaking. I just know that you were echoey as well. So that's why I wanted to check. Oh, it's coming back.
I see. So online, you're okay. As long as we're good online, we're good to go.
Alrighty, then I will deal with an echo. It's really weird hearing yourself. Okay, so first things first, I need a motion to approve the August panel meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so I have a first, I have a second. Any public comment on the agenda for today?
There are no public comments online.
And none in the room. We will move to vote on today's agenda.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
All right, so we have that. We are now looking for an approval or any amendments that are needed to the July panel meeting minutes. Does anyone want to make any corrections, or do I have approval of those minutes?
Move a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any public comments on the minutes?
There are no public comments online.
And I see none in the room. We shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor. Those are all good. We are going to hand over to executive reports. Now we've got the housekeeping done.
Well, thank you, Chair Betancourt, and good morning and happy Friday, everyone. As we gather for the second panel meeting of the 2026-27 fiscal year, I'm eager to build on the momentum we've created together. Previously mentioned last month, this year brings a number of promising opportunities, such as our continued collaboration with the California Energy Commission's Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Training Program, or EVITP, the next round of the Social Entrepreneurs for Economic Development, 3 microgrants, and the continued funding of the Paid Family Leave Program. Additionally, I have some exciting news to share. The 2026 Budget Act included $10.8 million in new funding for the Social Entrepreneurs for Economic Development Initiative. For those who may not be familiar with SEED, the program provides micro grants, entrepreneurial training, and technical assistance to individuals facing significant barriers, specifically immigrants and entrepreneurs with limited English proficiency who are starting or expanding a small business in California. We are working on an interagency agreement to transfer the funds from the California Workforce Development Board to ETP. Since its inception, SEED has demonstrated meaningful impact, awarding over $18 million and supporting thousands of individuals across the state. ETP staff are enthusiastic to build upon this success. More information on SEED will be shared in the coming months, and we look forward to continuing our partnerships and expanding opportunities that drive meaningful change in the year ahead. For today's panel meeting, we have one amendment and 19 proposals submitted for review. If approved, ETP will award approximately $7.8 million. Of these proposals, 47% fall within the priority industry sector of manufacturing. 47% represent small businesses, 81% are repeat contractors, and 19% are new contractors. The proposals will be presented for review and action by Heather Miguel and Jana Lazarevich. Also, we have one staff presentation from Selene Mujica, ETP's Planning and Research Team Supervisor, who will present ETP's 2024-25 annual report, along with Phase 2 of the current 2024-27 strategic plan. These materials highlight ETP's recent accomplishments, our progress in expanding high-quality training opportunities, and our strategic direction for the years ahead. That concludes my portion of the executive report, so I will now hand it over to Kumani Armstrong to continue. Thank you all.
Thank you, Director Grimes, and good morning. I'm going to provide a brief legislative update on some of the bills that we are currently tracking, and I'll start with just a general legislative timeline. Today is the last day to amend bills on the floor. August 31st is the last day for each house to pass bills before the final recess begins, and September 30th is the last day for the governor to sign or veto bills passed by the legislature before September 1. And we have been tracking two bills in particular, AB 1534, which was known as the Workforce Pell Grant, and that bill was amended to remove an advisory board requirement that ETP would sit on that advisory board. That's been deleted, so we're no longer tracking that bill. The next bill that we have been tracking is SB 1059, and this is a bill that's directed at electronic record keeping. Since our last update on this bill, the bill was amended and passed out of committee. And yesterday, August 20th, 2026, the bill was read a third time and passed the state assembly. Now, the current status is the bill must go back to the Senate for a vote to concur. And that's yet to happen. So we're watching and we'll keep you posted as the bill, on the status of the bill. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. I'll pass to the next speaker.
That would be me. Good morning and welcome panel members and stakeholders. Thank you for the opportunity to provide a summary of the Employment Training Panel's funding. Regarding funding, today's panel meeting will fund 19 projects for approximately $7.8 million. That includes 3 delegation orders totaling $147,140. Delegation orders are proposals capped at $75,000 and approved under delegated authority by the director on a continuous flow basis. If all proposals for today's panel meeting are approved, the panel will have funded 41 projects in fiscal year 26-27. for a total of $17,890,474. We have 280 applications in demand. 133 applications are currently in development, 37 applications are in eligibility review, and 110 applications are pending review. If all projects are approved, funding would support training for 6,189 applicants across California, helping employers strengthen their workforce and advance the state's economic and industry needs. With that continued progress in mind, since our last panel meeting, ETP has successfully closed 38 contracts totaling $10 million. Of these contracts, 5 were multiple employer contracts, 11 were apprenticeships, 14 were single employer contracts, 7 were small businesses, and 1 was a critical proposal. These outcomes reflect continued progress and impact on expanding workforce opportunities across sectors and business sizes. Thank you. I'd like to hand it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone any questions for Laura? No. All right, I think I'm passing it back over. I don't think it's mine next. I don't know.
We ready for proposals?
I think we are. It is for me.
Okay, can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you. All right, we'll start with tab 1. Tab 1 is a critical proposal from Applied Materials, Inc. Applied Materials develops, produces, and sells semiconductor chip manufacturing equipment. And the company is in the process of building the world's most advanced facility for semiconductor process technology and manufacturing equipment, with the facility scheduled to open at the end of 2026. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $898,800 to train 535 workers, and training will take place at their locations in Santa Clara and Sunnyvale, and representatives from Applied Materials are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, Chair Betancourt, Dr. Grimes, and members of the panel. My name is Lillian Chu, and I'm a Director of HR at Applied Materials. It's an honor to appear before you today to request your support for our application to train and upskill Californians for careers in the semiconductor industry. I'm also pleased to share an exciting update. In May of 23, then Vice President Kamala Harris joined us in Sunnyvale to announce Applied Materials' initial investment of $4 billion into the EPIC Center. It's our state-of-the-art R&D facility in Silicon Valley. That investment is now expected to scale to approximately $5 billion as customer projects begin. After years of construction and the combined efforts of skilled union workers, employees, contractors, and community partners, we're scheduled to open the facility in October this year. And the timing couldn't be more important. The semiconductor industry is expanding rapidly. It's driven by AI and the growing demand for the more advanced energy-efficient chips. And meeting that demand will require a highly skilled workforce. Our partnerships with ETP, GoBiz, and the Treasurer's Office have been instrumental in helping Applied invest, innovate, and create workforce opportunities in California. We've seen firsthand how ETP funding translates directly into trained, retained employees, and we're asking to continue that track record here. Thank you for considering our proposal. We respectfully ask for a yes vote, and we're happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions from anyone on panel?
I have a statement. I just want to say thank you for the high wages. And this is the kind of proposal I love seeing come back to us, and the growth that you're experiencing and the commitment to hire even more Californians. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I had just one quick clarifying question on the proposal, just to make sure. I know you have registered apprentices. They are not included in this, correct? Because as we look at growth, I know there's a big growth there in your apprenticeship program as well. They're not in this proposal, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So the one at Foothill, which is a huge success, that is
Yes.
separate and apart. And I make sure that we're not double dipping on training.
Fantastic.
Thank
That's
you.
the only thing I
Good question.
asked.
No.
Just want to make sure, because I want to recognize it's a great program, a lot of success coming with it, but I don't want to see it in here. Yeah.
I wanted to double down a little bit on Gretchen's comments. I couldn't agree more. Applied Materials has had exceptional past performance in this program. GoBiz has been Really, really glad to have worked with Applied Materials for many years in support of the great work that you're doing in California. Over 6,000 Californians, I think, hired, the $4 billion investment in the Epic Center. I want to point out to the rest of my panel members and to the audience, semiconductors and keeping that legacy sector here in California and keeping it competitive is one of our top priorities. It's a pilot sector, one where we're putting a whole of government approach to supporting as part of the governor's, Jobs First plan. I feel like Applied Materials is so emblematic of what we're trying to do to support and grow this industry. So just like Gretchen, I want to say thank you for everything that you've been doing in California. I'm actually going to Taiwan next weekend for the SemiCon Taiwan trade show. We're bringing a big delegation of regional economic development partners because we want to keep this sector strong across the state. And very much, Lillian, to your point about all of the emerging technologies and everything that California is known for in terms of innovation, semiconductors is at the core of that. I would love to hear just a little bit more about the Epic Center. We are so excited about that, really thrilled to support it. And I want to make sure that the panel can understand just a bit more about how impressive this facility is and what you're doing.
Yeah, and the Epic Center is very exciting for everyone, especially in California. It's definitely a model, right, to connect like chip makers, the equipment manufacturers like Applied Materials, and then even the universities that we've started partnering, right? We've announced the recent partnership with Stanford and UC Berkeley, very local universities, and to bring them together and develop opportunities, right, for Californians and to continue to grow our workforce here. So it's very exciting.
Thanks so much, Lillian. And we are also going to have a really big presence at SemiCon West in San Francisco. And so we are all in on this and just really grateful for the partnership. So thanks again.
Great. And thank you to the ETP for the continued support.
All right, any other questions, comments on this proposal?
Motion to approve Applied Materials, Inc., ETP contract number ET 27-0132 in the amount of $898,800.
Second.
Wait a unison, a second. All right, any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
Okay, and there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted. You're funded.
Thank you.
Just a quick thank you to Karen Mann, worked diligently to get this past the finish line in time for the August panel meeting. Phil Boyer, Robert Meyer, and all ETP leadership on really an amazing application in the semiconductor industry. Thank you very much.
All right, next up is tab 2. This is a proposal from Ascend Healthcare LLC. Ascend Healthcare provides specialized behavioral health and addiction treatment services for adolescents ages 12 to 17. The company projects to open multiple new facilities within the next 2 years, and the addition of these new facilities will require hiring up to 20 new employees per facility. They are a new contractor requesting $162,960 to train a total of 97 workers. Training will take place at their locations across Los Angeles County and their headquarters in Culver City. Representatives from Ascend Healthcare are here to answer any questions.
Good morning.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you. My name is Brittany Cohen, and I'm the president of Ascend Healthcare. Ascend is a behavioral healthcare company specializing in adolescent mental health and substance abuse. We have residential, full day, and after-school based programs in California. We'd use these funds to invest in our clinical, operational, and technology skills, supporting the development and retention of our team who deliver critical care and run our facilities every day. Thank you for your consideration today, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone on panel have questions, comments?
Just a quick clarification. You listed under fringe benefits a bunch of kind of individual insurance policies, such as critical illness coverage, accident insurance. I just want to inquire if you also offer kind of holistic, whole healthcare coverage.
We do, yes. We offer medical, dental, and vision as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this proposal?
I have a question. So you had mentioned this is such an important sector, and it's great that you're expanding and growing and hiring new employees. And you mentioned that you focus on retention. Can you explain, or can you expand a little bit on what you actually are doing to ensure that you retain these trained employees?
Yeah, absolutely. Retention and growth within our organization is a huge part of our company story and culture. And about 75% of people in leadership roles within our organization were promoted from within. And we feel like that really supports in delivering such a high quality of care, and also supports in the burnout that a lot of mental health workers experience.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Motion to approve Ascend Healthcare LLC at an ETP funding amount of $162,960.
Second.
I said the first, I have a second. Do I have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
All right, so we are all in favor, therefore the motion's adopted and you're funded. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, next up is tab 3. This is a proposal from Browning Contractors, Inc. Browning Contractors is a utility construction contractor specializing in the installation and maintenance of wet utilities, dry utilities, street lighting, fiber optic systems, and wire pulling infrastructure projects. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $398,580 to train a total of 219 workers. Training will take place at their facility in Fresno, and representatives from Browning Contractors are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Gloria Mendez, and I am the HR manager. And this is Jose Limas. He is our controller. And we appreciate you guys meeting with us today, and we're open for any questions.
Thank you. Good morning. Any questions or comments from panel on this proposal?
I do have some concerns around the 2 wage modifications that you're seeking. Usually I'm okay with 1, but you're doubling down and asking for 2 to lower a construction wage down to $20 an hour. And then it looks like in the proposal that there's 5 individuals, 4 laborers, 1 is a wire puller, that would be paid less than $20 an hour. That's just a really low wage for construction, so.
More than likely, those are new employees
Mhm.
with no previous experience. So and the next round, which is in April, that's when we reevaluate, and more than likely there will be increase on those individuals due to the cross training that we're handling.
Okay. Your proposal states BCI requests an additional wage modification for trainees in job number 1 from $24.67 an hour down to $20 an hour. Approximately 114 trainees across all occupations except foremen will need this wage modification. So 114 need the further wage modification down to $20 an hour?
Yes, well, where we Central Valley, it's a low income HOA. So a lot of the guys will need a lot of the cross training to be able to increase them and put them on the next level. And that's where we use the funds to be able to accomplish this.
And might I just note?
Yes.
Just because they're bucketed, we can't see how granular it is. So they're not obviously all down at 20 and very few below 20 even. I don't know that any in the last project we had below 20. We were higher than that.
Yeah.
But again, this is just bucketed based on their current wage rates,
Mhm.
not what, there's a
Yes.
budget at 23, 24, 25. And I'd be happy to provide that data to the panel and to staff, or work out a resolution that makes you more comfortable.
Yes, and just to clarify, on the last 2 years, our average increase has been 5%. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure the numbers are adding up compared to the wage table. So the 114, when I look at the wage table, that I was looking at this and my math may not be good, so staff check me on this. I'm seeing a total of 5 under $20, And then I'm seeing 59, 63, 70, about 75 in the 20 to 25. So that 114
Is stated below.
stated below. So I'm now confused.
Yes. Let me interject too, because I'm also just wanting to make sure I'm disentangling. So my understanding is the first column that says $20 and under represents 5 that would be at the $20 post-retention wage. And then the next column that's $20 and a cent or penny to 25 is about 70. So if we tally that up, that's about 75 of the trainees. So I don't know if that is, staff, we're looking at you. Okay, I'm getting a nod.
I believe the table is accurate and it's a typo on the narrative.
Correct.
Is my belief.
It was only 5 jobs we're looking at that are 20 and under on
That's
that
2% of the total trainees.
Correct. Okay.
And I think it's reasonable if we wanted to just drop that bucket. I don't see why we can't do that. I think that's.
Or just move them up to $20 and above. I mean, I would like much more than that, but these 5, can we move them after a 2-year training program to receive $20 at minimum?
Yeah, currently, actually, some of the numbers need to be adjusted, but we're hiring starting wage is 21.
$21 an hour.
Yes.
So can the post-retention wage be moved to $21 an hour? Like that's like half of what I want, but 21?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
I'm getting something, so I feel a little bit better. Thank you.
So we're moving in the so just to be clear, you're asking for the post-retention wage whenever this.
Yeah.
After any other questions or comments, to a $21 an hour post-retention wage.
Yeah.
So that means every one of your employees who's going through the training at the end of their retention, they need to be at 21.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure everyone's clear as we're going through this. Yeah, that's why I want to make sure I was clear for whoever's making a motion. And once we've finished any other questions or comments, is clear of what needs to be added into that motion. Okay, any other questions, comments on this proposal?
I have a quick question. In your proposal, you state that the training project will equip staff with the knowledge and skills to improve productivity, technology, et cetera, et cetera. You also mentioned that this project will promote employee retention. Can you please expand on that a little bit for me?
So on the employee retention, what we're doing is we're growing our employees. So we're hiring for them to stay with us long term. And so we're if it's a laborer starting that has no knowledge of construction, we're training them up to become a pipe layer. And then pipe layers, we're training them up to become operators, and then operators to leadmen, and then ultimately the goal of foreman.
And to stay within your company?
Yes,
Okay.
to stay within our organization.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve Browning Contractors, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $398,580, subjected to a post-retention wage of $21 an hour.
Second.
So I have a first, I have a second. Do I have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there look to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor, therefore the motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you.
Pam.
Okay, next up is tab 4. This is a proposal from Central Valley Training Center, Inc. Central Valley Training Center provides behavioral management and community-based support services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The company delivers person-centered services that promote independence, skill development, and improved quality of life for the individuals they serve. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $532,800 to train a total of 370 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Stockton, Fresno, Visalia, Modesto, Merced, Tracy, and Valley Springs. and representatives from Central Valley Training Center are here to answer any questions.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Just to introduce myself. My name is Chris Heineman. I'm our Culture and Experience Manager at the Central Valley Training Center. I'm joined with our training coordinator, David Soltwich. And I appreciate everyone's time for us today. And just to give a little background, as mentioned, we do work with adults who have intellectual developmental disabilities, really helping them become more independent in their everyday living skills and tasks. So that could be helping them find employment, providing them job coaches while they're out there, while they get acclimated to their new employment, general cooking, cleaning, and hopefully, helping them get their driver's license for some of them, as well as their own residence. But I appreciate everyone's time, and we're open to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this proposal?
Just a requested cleanup. This is coming to you, most likely, not staff. It's not their responsibility. You're requesting a wage modification as well. It appears that it's more of a double wage modification because it states that we can, as panel members, lower a wage modification from $44.85 an hour down to $24.67 an hour, or 25%. This is a 45% wage modification, so you're missing some language that explains that it's in a HUA, a high unemployment area. So for the future, you need to get that back in there.
Understood.
Watching
My
like a
apologies.
hawk. Yep. Got nothing else.
Nothing else? Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve Central Valley Training Center, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $532,800.
Second.
All right, I have a first, I have a second. Do I have any public comment on the proposal?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
All right, so we're all in favor, so therefore the motion is adopted, you're funded.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, next up is tab 5. This is a proposal from KB Delta Inc. They have withdrawn from this panel meeting and will attend a future meeting. So next up we have is tab 6, which is a proposal from Montage Medical Group, a healthcare organization offering a wide range of hard-to-find medical specialists. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $350,000 to train 250 workers, with plans to hire an additional 50 employees over the next 2 years to support their expansion of a new medical office building. Training will take place at 11 locations throughout Monterey County, and representatives from Montage Medical are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Jasmine Ensley. I'm the Executive Director with Montage Medical Group. And the medical group is a multi-specialty primary care medical group in Monterey on the peninsula, very high cost of living, hard to recruit frontline workers and clinical staff to support our physicians. We just opened a new 50,000 square foot building that is housing urology, cardiology, general surgery. We've added a number of additional specialties to the medical group. I want to thank you for your time and also thank you for the funding of the last contract. Over the last 2 years, we're really proud of the progress that we've made. We've seen our patient experience scores with the medical group excel to the top quartile in our region for the Western United States. We've also seen our employee engagement scores improve to around the 70th percentile as well. And so we're really looking forward to another project with you, and I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Sorry, so your last contract, you achieved 79%. We love 100%. So you were able to achieve 265,000 of the 335 that was awarded. Talk to me now why you're requesting more than what you accomplished last year.
Yeah.
And what can we expect from that? Like
Yeah.
what lessons learned?
Yes.
And what's so special about you guys right now that you're requesting more?
Okay, so I'll talk about the challenges we had. We did have some challenges with record keeping. We had one person responsible for this, and she was one of our 2 trainers. Since then, I've added a manager to that department. She's our HR manager, and she also oversees all of our training. We've added 2 more training support members, and we've continued to collect our rosters. I think we had a lot of problems initially collecting training information for our preceptors. So we've done a lot of cleanup work around our record keeping over the last year or so. Why we're requesting more money is because we have grown. We've added more physicians. We have grown in the size of employees. We anticipate hiring about 20 more physicians over the next 2 years. Our staffing ratio is about 2.4 clinic or FTEs per clinical full-time physician or APP. So that's where we get the 50 more employees we anticipate hiring. We were trying to actually apply for a little bit more. We negotiated down because of our performance on our last year. So I have complete confidence that we'll be closer to that 100% this term.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I would just echo Gretchen's point that right at where you sat last time is right at that 75% of this new amount.
Yes.
And 75% is when they then will consider that right size for the next one. So just being very transparent. We've seen this in a lot recently where we're seeing people coming in asking for more based on prior performance. Where are we seeing? So just being, I just want you to be aware.
79.
I always call it, yeah. And 75 will be 262 of this new amount. So that's why you were right at that cusp. So I'm just like,
yeah, so that's
it always makes me nervous.
We like,
yeah. It always makes me nervous. And I'm always like, I always say it's like credit. You screw it up, you have to rebuild it. And that's where we're just highlighting that with you. I think is really where we go. All right. Any other questions, comments from panel?
Motion to approve Montage Medical Group, ETP contract number ET 27-0137, the amount of $350,000.
Second. Nope, they got
I didn't think we'd done that second one. All right. So I have a first, I have a second. Do I have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And it looks like no one is coming in the room. So we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
All right. So we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up is tab 7. This is a proposal from Person Centered Services, Inc. Person Centered Services provides comprehensive support services, care coordination, and transitional care for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and those recovering from substance use disorders. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $241,920 to train a total of 168 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Stockton, and representatives from Person Centered Services are here to answer any questions.
Hi, my name is Denise Lane, and I'm the Human Resources Director for the company, Person Centered Services. And I wanted to thank you for having us here, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Good morning. Any questions from anyone on panel?
Concerns around low wages again. You're requesting 2 wage modifications. The first one, 25%. We can go from 44 down to 24.67, and then a further wage modification from 24.67 down to 18.50 an hour. And then a reduced wage week, reduced work week hours from 35 down to 21 hours. So when I do that calculation for somebody that's working full-time at 29 hours at 18.50, that's $27,000 a year.
At this time, our lowest wages, we have one person at 21, everybody is 22 and up.
Okay, so 21.
One person is at 21.
Okay. We're about funding high road, stable jobs. I need you to talk to me a little bit more on your reasoning to reduce the wage week hours. I'm sorry, the work week hours. I'm getting tongue-tied from 35 down to 29, and that impact on your workers.
pay. One of the reasons we change it is to remain competitive with the workforce and to maintain our existing employees. We have many people who have children. It's kind of a growing number, children with autism or just school needs. And so they need a day, like they need one day off, or maybe they're returning to college to further their education. And so they need one day off a week. So we didn't want to cut their benefits. So we just allow them to earn those benefits to maintain those people. And so far it seems to be successful. People are happy with that. They're available more for their families. And when we did adjust that down, we increased all the rates. So people were making the same as what they were or more. Most of them made more. There's maybe a few that stayed at a rate, but it still was the rate with their weekly rate did not decrease.
Gotcha. I'm looking to your consultant. So if
I'm
I
having
make
trouble hearing.
I'm sorry, I'm looking to your consultant to advise you on this. But
Okay.
what I'm moving to do, I'm not making a motion yet, just throwing things out there, is approval contingent on moving the post-retention wage to $21 an hour. He says good.
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
And moving it to 21.
21.
Okay.
It's still a double wage modification.
Ms. Newsom, might comment, I know we have a theme, with some of the HUAs. And it's not, sometimes there's some just timing issues with when we fill out the application, put it in the buckets, work with the staff, and then, back and forth. So because she's saying 21 and I show a little bit lower than that. So it is me, but I want to explain it is some timing sometimes. Thank you.
I guess just a comment on my side, if the applicant is fine with it. Again, if I'm reading this table correctly, it's 5 of 168. And so just recognizing that there's a need for step and progression in some of these applications. And so what I'm hearing you say is it's just one person right now in this lower wage category, but just recognizing the need to have a little bit of flexibility for our applicants. But if you are amenable to Ms. Newsom's modification, then that's great.
Okay.
And I will say, I think it was when I saw the amendment around the number of hours in what you're saying about how it's been able to open up the family, be able to support the families, but not actually see a cut in pay. It doesn't make me as worried on a full-time schedule being 29 hours. I know a lot of panel had concerns on that. I think the fact you kept the pay but adjusted their working hours is fantastic. And I've not heard a lot of companies doing that, especially in a high stress environment like this one. So I feel much better about that 29 hours, knowing that they're not seeing a reduction, but you did it for the employees in that perspective. So.
And Ms. Lane's having difficulty hearing you, so I'll just tell you what she told me a couple of days ago about those. There's a handful of them, so you wouldn't see the entire population go through that at that number. And like she said, it was only done for their flexibility, not for hers.
No, I think it's fantastic in doing it for their flexibility of all those different things. Okay, any other questions or comments on this proposal?
Motion to approve Person-Centered Services, Inc. and an ETP funding of $241,920, subjected to a post-retention wage of $21 an hour.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there look to be none in the room, so we should move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor, so therefore the motion is adopted and you're funded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up is tab 8. This is a proposal from Pharmavite LLC. Pharmavite manufactures vitamins, herbal supplements, and nutritional bars, and operates one of the most sophisticated state-of-the-art research and development facilities in the industry. They are a repeat contractor requesting $242,788 to train 299 workers. Training will take place at their 3 locations in San Fernando and Valencia, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Sam Ross. I'm the head of manufacturing, training, and development for Pharmavite. This partnership allows us to continue to accelerate our existing investment in training, which is very specifically focused in deepening the capability across our workforce. to provide more opportunities for growth as our operation evolves and strengthening Pharmavite as a California-based manufacturer. Happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions?
I just want to say I appreciate you right-sizing this contract from performance from the previous contract. So I thought that was a smart step. Thank you for that. And I had something else and it slipped my mind.
I just want to make a comment. I want to commend you for kind of doing an internal audit and see where maybe there might be some shortcomings within the company and really focus some training on that. So I think that's awesome. And then also the shift when I'm not familiar necessarily with the sector, but from tableting to a different, from the previous process to tableting, because that was what was needed. And so you're now training your employees and retaining them. So I just want to commend you on that.
Good news is the shift is coming back to tableting. So we will see more tableting opportunities as we continue to evolve and grow. So that shift, we made the adjustment, but now we're seeing more opportunities come back in that direction, which is part of the need for the funding.
Great. And that was a tongue twister for me. So
any other questions from panel on this proposal?
Just a quick comment from you. Thank you for being a California-based manufacturer. We're going to hear more about the ETP strategic plan later today with an emphasis on manufacturing. And so appreciate you keeping those operations in California.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
I move to approve Pharmavite ETP contract ET 27-0124 and the funding amount of $242,788.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Do I have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there look to be none in the room, so we will move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor, so therefore the motion's adopted and you are funded.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up is tab 9. This is a proposal from QuantumScape Battery, Inc., doing business as QuantumScape. QuantumScape manufactures advanced electrical batteries with a focus on solid-state lithium metal battery technology for transportation. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $531,552 to train a total of 678 workers. We do have a correction to the prior projects table. The payment earned column should reflect $436,396 as the final invoice was processed shortly after this proposal was printed. So this contract is now closed at 87% performance. Training will take place at their facility in San Jose, and representatives from QuantumScape are here to answer any questions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kai Hua. I'm the Senior Learning Partner at QuantumScape. On behalf of QS, we would like to thank you, the panel, for funding this project, for funding the project we just completed, and for the opportunity to come before the panel again today. QuantumScape is a technology company redesigning the way lithium batteries are made and performed. We are still primarily in the research and development phase of our operation. Early this year, we brought our Eagle pilot production line online in San Jose, and we are now building cells and shipping samples to customers, with cell output expected to double in the second half of this year. Volkswagen battery company PowerCo and Honda are both supporting our efforts, and we have been extending the technology into data centers. As you know, there's always a startup period for new contractors where training hours don't always get reported. This has affected us and contributed to our only using 87% of the hours funded. When constructing our application, we took into account the panel's emphasis on right-sizing projects. Although the dollar amount of this request is larger than our last project, we were asking for the same number of training hours we used last time. The entire increase comes from the reimbursement rate, where our prior project was funded at $23 per hour, and then the rate now is $28 an hour. With that, we are open to any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on the proposal?
You already addressed where I would go with this. Thank you. Anything?
Just a comment from GoBiz. We've had the pleasure of working with your company for a number of years now. I know you've also received funding from, I think it's the Energy Commission, on some, your contributions to helping advance, some of our renewable energy priorities in the state. So appreciate the sector you're operating in and the turbulence that I know you're weathering with everything that's happening with battery technology right now, more broadly, and unfortunately with the national narrative in the US. But, where California is still committed to some of these goals, it's because of manufacturing operations like yours. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Question?
Motion to approve QuantumScape Battery Inc., DBA QuantumScape, ETP contract number ET 27-0126 in the amount of $531,552. Second.
All right, so the first I have a second. Do I have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there seem to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so you are funded as we're all in favor and the motion's adopted.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have tab 10. This is a proposal from Universal Health Services of Rancho Springs, Inc., doing business as Southwest Healthcare Rancho Springs and Inland Valley Hospital. The hospitals provide dedicated service lines such as pediatric emergency, orthopedics, robotic surgery, and stroke patient care. They are a repeat contractor requesting $560,000 to train 800 registered nurses, with plans to hire an additional 50 registered nurses to support their recent expansion of a new patient care tower. Training will take place at their locations in Riverside County, and representatives from Universal Health Services are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Karen Mayo. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer for Southwest Healthcare Inland Valley and Rancho Springs Hospital, and I'm accompanied by our Director for Education, Alexandra Barrera. Thank you for considering our grant request today. Again, we operate these two acute care hospitals, and you're likely aware how fast Riverside County is growing, specifically Southwest Riverside County, where we're located in the Temecula, Murrieta, Lake Elsinore area. So we appreciate you considering this request. We recently, in April, opened a brand new patient care tower with 7 stories in it that increased the capacity for one of our hospitals from 120 beds to 202 beds. We were previously operating at levels of capacity anywhere from 95% to 105%, with patients holding in our emergency room, waiting for inpatient beds. And so we've been really happy to be able to bring this new tower to our community and better serve our population. We're a level 2 trauma center, as well as expanding our services into providing a cath lab with heart and PCI treatments for people with chest pain and heart disease. And so we really appreciate this. Obviously, with more beds, we need more staff, and that's what we've been focused on doing for the last few months, and we'll continue to do into next year. Are there any questions?
Any questions from anyone on this proposal?
Just want to express my appreciation of your high wages with a post-retention wage of $50.50 an hour and a wage range of $50.50 to $73.81. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this proposal?
Motion to approve Universal Health Services of Rancho Springs, Inc., TBA, Southwest Healthcare, Rancho Springs, and Inland Valley Hospital in an ETP funding amount of $560,000.
Second.
All right, so I have a first, I have a second. Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there is none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor, so therefore the motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Ricky, are you leaving us?
Madam Chair, I'd like to recuse myself.
All righty, we got that. Ricky's leaving us for this one.
Next up is tab 11. This is a proposal from Velutini Corporation, doing business as Royal Electric Company. Royal Electric specializes in design-build electrical systems, airport lighting infrastructure, heavy highway infrastructure, commercial facilities, manufacturing plants, healthcare facilities, educational structures, and multifamily residential construction. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $624,400 to train a total of 446 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Sacramento, Pleasanton, and Long Beach, and representatives from Royal Electric are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Sean Mayer. I'm a learning and development specialist with Bellatini Corporation doing business as Royal Electric Company. We're very grateful to the Employment Training Panel for its support in past projects, and we're thrilled to be here again with a new proposal. ETP's support has allowed us to further invest in the growth and upskilling of our skilled trade workers and supporting teams. Royal Electric has experienced a period of rapid growth in the past year, expanding into new markets and regions with a 23% increase in headcount in California. With this growth has come the need to train current and existing employees in new processes, software tools, and technical skills. We thank you for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from panel?
It's based off of prior performance and not reaching 100% and then coming back around this time around and asking for even more than you were awarded last time. So an explanation as to why and how you're going to be more successful, please.
Yeah. So we did some housekeeping in our documentation processes. We realized some training that was happening wasn't being recorded. We took measures to educate our team on, the ETP program, what it is, and the benefit to them and the company. As for the larger sum we're requesting, that speaks to the growth that we're experiencing. It's been a busy couple of years, and we're seeing a lot of new projects in new markets, different things that we've done in the past, requiring more staff and skilled trade workers to support that production.
I want to build on Gretchen's question around prior performance, but also around audits. So I look at this, there was I'm going to say a sizable unearned disallowed credit in a prior audit of a higher achievement of a contract, but then 12,000 disallowed. Can you help us understand how you've put actions in place to sort of avoid audit findings like this in the future?
Yeah, we were grateful, for the feedback from those findings. We took meaningful steps to kind of see where those errors were happening, mainly clerical errors. We have more people supporting the program, more education. The learning and development team is growing, so we have more folks trained in the proper documentation of training hours, which qualify, which don't, and how to discern before sending them off. So steps have been taken there.
Okay, and I just want to build back on like prior performance and talking about the amount and the number of people. The number of trainees looks very similar for what you're projecting to what you sort of had approved last time that you were trained and stuff. And I just wanted to dive a bit deeper into what more of a depth of a training plan is happening. Are you training them on more skill? Are you seeing a greater number of hours needed based on what's happening? Is that what's driving the greater amount?
Yeah, so we have additional training programs in place that will require more time. For example, qualified electrical worker training is one of the courses. It's a 6-hour workshop followed by a in-person demonstration and assessment. We have additional. We continuously revise our processes as well. So it's not just the same old training, every year. We have a culture of continuous improvement. It's an iterative process, modifying our processes, seeing what works, what can be improved. Training comes along. The need for training comes along with that. Our 3 pillars of success are building people, building projects, and building relationships. Building people is first, and it's there for a reason, right? we firmly believe in investing in our folks. And that's where the need comes from.
I just want to check one thing. The in-person assessment is done more as a classroom based than productive lab. So it's not done out on the job, correct?
Yes, so it's 6 hours of classroom training, followed the next day by a hands-on assessment, so lab.
In the lab, not on the
Which we
work
wouldn't-
floor. I
which
just want to make sure the
Yes.
category is right.
Yeah,
Correct.
I mean, I've got follow-up questions
Yes,
now.
yeah.
Oh, boy. So for your electricians, you have 210 of them included in this project. And you're mentioning that you're giving them kind of an intro class. Those aren't the electricians. Those are electrical trainees, correct? That would then go through an apprenticeship program and then eventually, after many hours of training, become certified electricians in the state of California?
So the qualified electrical program is a safety program.
Uh-huh.
So per the NFPA 70, we're required to have a training program in place before we say, hey, you can conduct troubleshooting and testing operations on these systems.
Mhm.
So, they may be a journeyman, right? That still doesn't mean we allow them to perform that work without internal training. Understanding our electrical safety program, our internal requirements, which go above and beyond what's required in NFPA 70E. So that's where the training kind of lies, the need for training. It's in addition, it wouldn't be we wouldn't train an apprentice to be a QEW, right?
Okay.
And my question would be, because I think he was answering that in response to what's more training do you have? And that's one of the examples, but in the curriculum, I don't believe we're picking that up for ETP purposes. I mean, you tell me because, technically.
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like that.
No, but because I think his answer was more related to what's new and why more.
I need
And-
clarification.
And yet, we can definitely get verification that it's not included.
I don't see it.
And just more in the numbers piece of it. I did a little bit of digging last night to try to be prepared. And so when you look at what's on the proposals in the past, gives you a good idea of what happened, but I dig into Cal eForce and pull the data, right? And I pulled everybody that was placed or earned. And the data was 246 trainees placed in the last contract at 72 hours, 260 placed at 80 hours in the prior contract. This one requests 50 hours per training.
Mhm.
So it's just, there is more training, obviously, but their head count is, 200 more people plus anticipating 1,000. And we didn't even add the 1,000 into this number, right? So I think the training is going to be way bigger than these numbers indicate, but we were conservatively aggressive, if that makes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sorry, that little tangent on the numbers, but yes, we can definitely look at the electrical, and I don't know if staff or you guys have ideas. Can we specifically say, do not put this in there, or is that just, it's not in the curriculum, right? So we wouldn't claim it anyways.
NAFP is not in the curriculum. I just looked. I do not see it in there.
Keep it that way.
Any other questions or comments?
Motion to approve Valentini Corporation DBA Royal Electric Company in an ETP funding amount of $624,400.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles, Mike Greenlee. Aye. Emily Desai.
Aye. All right, so all of us that are here are in favor, therefore the motion is adopted and you are funded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're on to the multiple employer contractors. So next up is tab 12. This is a proposal from AGC Construction Education Foundation. AGC Construction supports more than 600 contractor and specialty subcontractor member companies throughout the state by providing workforce education, professional development, and industry training. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $899,562 to train a total of 626 workers. Participating employers in this project perform a broad range of commercial, industrial, transportation, and infrastructure construction projects across California. Training will take place at AGC construction training facilities and participating employer locations, and representatives from AGC Construction are here to answer any questions.
Hi, I'm Kendra Billow, the Director of Training and Education. Thank you so much for considering our proposal, and I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you and good morning. Any questions from panel?
I'm aware that some of your participating employers are union signatory, but it doesn't say that in here. Is it that you are not training union workers and you're training outside of that scope?
Correct. Whenever we have a situation like that where we have an employer that wants to send trainees, we do an onboarding call with them to, at a high level, discuss who qualifies and who does not to take the training. We verify that at the individual level too when we onboard individuals, just to make sure that they're not in a bad situation.
CBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a great situation.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is.
Talk to me, I'm just gonna do this clarification because I think it's corrected in the wage table. You're seeking 2 wage modifications. We're going from 33.64 down to 24.67, and then another wage modification down to 18.50 an hour. But your post-retention wage is 20.01. So that's the post-retention wage. For job number 2, 66 individuals, it's a HUA.
Okay. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
That's all correct.
Yes.
I think they're using healthcare to bring it up to that 20. So it says health benefits used to meet post-retention wage, yes.
Right. So
Not
we
for
have-
job 2.
Not for job 2.
Not for job 2. Okay, just for job 1.
Just job 1. So those ones are like hovering around $31 an hour, but then these guys are hovering at 20. And so they have to meet it. I did this last time. Can I move you up to $21 an hour for the second job category? Because it's a 2-year contract.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. You want to go higher?
We're going to pay prices right on this one, aren't we?
We added it this time. We had some folks who have small companies and they could not benefit through this project. And so we would like to be able to assist them if possible.
It's the
So,
side of it. Yeah.
I'll settle at 21.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments on this proposal?
I have a question. So high unemployment area, I know that you serve those areas, and I know that the list of participating employers is just essentially a proposed list. Couple of your areas, Stanislaus and San Joaquin counties, none of the participating employers that you provided in the proposal are in those counties. What's your plan to capture those employers that could benefit from the training?
We actually have a team in the Construction Education Foundation that focuses specifically on small business development. And so they do have contractors in those areas that would love to benefit from ETP. And so we have a plan in place if this proposal is approved to go ahead and do outreach in those areas.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve AGC Construction Education Foundation and an ETP funding amount of $899,562, subjected to job number 2 has a post-retention wage of $21 an hour.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Richard Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee, Emily Desai.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted, therefore you're funded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is tab 13. This is a proposal from East County Economic Development Council. an alliance of key representatives from business, community, education, government, and industry leaders in San Diego's East County region and Imperial County. The council has also partnered with the California Shipbuilding Ecosystems Alliance, a public-private partnership funded by the U.S. Navy dedicated to expanding the state's shipbuilding capacity and capabilities. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $876,960 to train 945 workers. Training will take place at the participating employers' work sites throughout San Diego and Imperial counties, and representatives from East County Economic Development Council are here to answer any questions.
Thank you and good morning, panel members. My name is Matt Sanford. I am the president and CEO of the East County EDC in San Diego County. Thank you for considering our proposal today, and thank you to Samantha Wang and Phil Boyer for their assistance in developing it. We've just completed and submitted the final documents for our ET25 agreement, fully expending those funds. I did want to provide an example of where some of those funds went to and what that looks like on the ground. At Instruments Inc., which is a participating employer, Ryan, we'll leave out his last name, who was a purchaser, went through ETP funded training and was able to move up to assistant production manager. That's a real step up in both responsibility and pay, and just one of many success stories. In addition, as mentioned, as a Kelsey partner, we're working with manufacturers that are new to the maritime industrial base. Many have come to us through Kelsey and are ready to join our MEC. The increase proposed in this agreement is what allows us to take them on. And the pairing with Kelsey is kind of the point. We help manufacturers access those new opportunities within the maritime industrial base and then train their workforce with skills that are in demand and resilient. This proposal lets us continue that work without skipping a beat and add additional manufacturers that are wanting to join the contract. We have the staff and partnerships in place to implement it successfully, and we thank you again for your consideration. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on this proposal?
Just a question on your Kelsey partnership. Is that work with industry statewide or within your geographic territory?
It is statewide. Our emphasis is primarily in San Diego.
Sure. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I find your wage table a little concerning because of how simple it is. All wage ranges for 5 different occupations are $22.17 an hour to $75 an hour. It to me sends a little bit of red flag of like, do you understand the needs of your participating employers? And we just took from like the lowest and then to the highest, and that's what it is.
Yeah, as a MEC with many participating businesses, some smaller, some larger, a lot of variability in the wages.
I know what you mean. It feels a bit weird, like a copy and paste job of like everyone's paying between these wages.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Motion to approve East County Economic Development Council and ETP funding amount of $876,960.
Second.
All right, so I have a first, I have a second. Any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and there look to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted. You're welcome.
All right, next up is tab 14. This is a proposal from Studio Arts. Studio Arts provides high-tech software, hardware training to the motion picture, television, and post-production industries. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $282,870 to train 210 workers. Training will take place via e-learning and at the participating employers' work sites throughout California. Representatives from Studio Arts are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel. As you know, my name is Eric Kilsman. I'm founder and proud president of Studio Arts in Los Angeles. And so for more than 25 years, we have served California's arts and entertainment community by providing practical industry-focused training to working professionals and the companies that employ them. Our mission in this proposed ETP contract is straightforward: to give participating employers access to training in the latest software technologies and production techniques so their employees can continue to grow their skills and their companies can remain competitive in an industry that changes extraordinarily quickly. I thank you for considering our proposal and ready to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you and welcome back. Any questions, comments from panel on this proposal?
The audit findings, were very concerning. The most concerning one is from many years ago, and then just recently another one. I appreciate that you're coming to us at a right-sized amount, a lower amount than what you received previously. So, state that, and
I think I want to call out two pieces here. One of the things is I want to actually thank staff, ETP staff, for all the work that they have done to support through the last contract, really helping set up systems, I think, within Studio Arts, with Studio Arts, on how to manage these contracts. So I really do appreciate all the work, both from like the fiscal unit, from Lon and team, and like the work that you've done with this. I want to pass the buck over because staff have done a lot of work. If we're looking going into this contract, what are the lessons learned or systems implemented that you feel will set up for success for the next round of contracts, like for this contract and going forward, from everything staff has done and lessons learned? What are, like, say, the three big things?
In terms of training alone?
I'm going to say management of contract. I'm not as worried about training content. It's about the management of the contract, making sure we're not having audit findings, that side of it.
Well, there's a number of things involved here because from our point of view, it's about where the industry is, and it's in upheaval. I'm going to be honest with you about it. There are a lot of reasons for it. Our group that we're dealing with right now has had a number of transitions within their companies, and that has been to figure out how they can be competitive on the world stage in ways that allows them to be at the top of this business, at least for where we are here in California. And it's very tough. Part of the reason why is because we have respect to the community in ways that maybe other countries don't. One of those is that we have organized labor, which I stand very firmly behind. And some of those difficulties were echoed on the last contract, where that we had some work actions that kind of prevented us from getting started right away the way that we could have. So there was kind of a dearth of the numbers of people that we could train at that point because of the work actions that we had. However, it's important that we have those unions. And so going forward, one way to help protect the unions that are involved within this training with us, in this particular case, the IATSE, the IATSE locals, is to ensure that the training is keeping their membership employed. For those companies that are non-union that we're dealing with, it would be about keeping their workforce actively engaged and learning the very latest techniques in this business so that they can keep at least up to speed and hopefully outperform the companies around the world that might be trying to move ahead of us.
So not necessarily the content. I'm talking about the management of the actual ETP contract, because that's where staff has worked and leaned in very heavily, I'm going to say, from a fiscal agent side of it, from like the reimbursement, the audits, the making sure. And every audit finding has been like, one of them was 40 trainees had ineligible training hours due to concurrent enrollment. That's a huge number of trainees. Like usually in an audit, we find it's 2 or 3 people. 40 is a very large number. I just want to feel good that all the work that staff has done going into this next contract, the systems you've put in place to ensure that you're getting the right trainees and you're managing them through with the criteria that ETP requires for reimbursement and the management of them going through, not the curriculum. I'm not going to say I could care less about the curriculum, but my side of it is about making sure the reimbursements you're receiving are accurate for the work and there isn't the recoup of the amount of work that I know in the past has happened, because audits cause trails and even just the invoicing and that side of it. So the lessons learned of like, what systems are we putting in place to be stronger in our administration of our contract, not of getting people into the training. I know the industry is at a hard time at the moment and has had some rough times. It's more about that success of contract recoup. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm sorry to say I couldn't understand.
So
what you said.
you are managing, so it's a contract around the reimbursement of the training. So we know the industry has had a rough time and there's a lot of work being done. I'm going to say even from a GoBiz perspective, like how do we keep the entertainment arts here in California? My concern, having looked at prior history, having been in the last panel proposal that was given, the team at ETP have been very big at supporting you through these programs. We've had audit findings in the past. Staff have worked very closely, this last contract, this prior one, to sort of set you up for success, I'm going to say, to make sure that the training hours are counting, the individuals are qualifying, etc. What things have you had in place now that you've gone out, like going into this contract, that you say, this is my lesson learned. I need to be better at A, B, and C with this contract to ensure success and no audit findings. I'm not going to say no audit findings, but I would love no audit findings and say, if you audited on this contract or the prior contract, we are not going to find 40 people concurrently enrolled, which is a big red flag on management of your contract.
But, you know, internally for us anyway, years ago, we were doing much larger contracts. And I think one of the adjustments we've had to make is in league with what's happening in the industry itself. I didn't want to have such a large contract this time around because I was very focused on performance. I don't like seeing 86% performance on any contract. But honestly, that's about all we could do, given that maybe 4 or 5 of the companies that were originally had on the last contract pulled it up. And this time around, I have some pretty good sized companies that are doing the training with us, DreamWorks and some others. However, my concern is that if I go for a larger contract again, that we would fail to make even 86%. So honestly speaking to the panel, I prefer to see 100% performance on this one. So we're asking for less for that reason.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from panel?
Motion to approve Studio Arts Ltd. ETP contract number ET 27-0138, an amount of $282,870.
But first, I have a second. Do I have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor, therefore the motion's adopted and you are funded.
Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome.
All right, next up is tab 15. This is a proposal from Sturdy Quick Building Systems. They're a general construction firm that specializes in steel frame structures, pre-engineered buildings, residential projects, remodeling and renovations, and commercial construction. To address the shortage of residential steel workers and meet the industry need for a trained labor force, Sturdy Quick formed an industry alliance consortium and established a steel rising training program, which is endorsed by the Steel Framing Industry Alliance. They are a repeat contractor requesting $598,425 to train 75 new hires. Training will take place at their location in Ontario, and representatives from Sturdy Quick are here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mary Flowers. I'm the president of Sturdy Quick Building Systems. We have been around since 1989, and we specialize in steel frame construction. The Steel Rising Training Program is a specialized 24-month technical workforce development initiative designed to recruit, equip, and place 75 unique trainees into full-time career pathways with the California structural steel fabrication, manufacturing, and commercial construction sectors. Regional steel contractors face persistent labor shortages for skilled entry-level operational personnel capable of executing technical field tasks safely and efficiently. This program addresses this critical workforce gap by providing a comprehensive, fast-track curriculum that transforms raw new hires into job-ready technical assets. Because graduates will be hired by a diverse mix of open shop, union, private, commercial, and general contractors, the program operates as an independent, non-union vocational technical training program. The trainees will be placed into standard private sector W-2 employment tracks that meet or exceed ETP new hire minimum wage requirements. The training operations are delivered by 8 specialized instructional vendors operating under strict performance contracts. The comprehensive curriculum spans advanced technical trade skills, safety certifications, and industrial literacy. The training cohort will achieve the following core competencies, which is core technical trades and subcontracted labs, featuring hands-on structural fabrication mechanics, construction material handling, blueprint, navigation, and industrial safety configurations, statutory safety certifications with full completion of mandatory compliance tracks, including OSHA 10, ASWAPR 24, industrial forklift operations, and site and field exercise logistics with real-world instructional field days utilizing dedicated transport assets to expose students to active industrial environments. This program is supported by a dedicated recruitment coordinator and specialized employment outreach campaigns. The program implements a rigorous 4-phase pipeline, which is targeted public recruitment through community outreach, vetting individual applicants for work history, drug screenings, and mechanical aptitude, comprehensive enrollment and intake for full verification of California residency, right to work status, and immediate alignment with ETP tracking protocols, instructional milestone performance, rigorous tracking of individual student training, hours to verify compliance and curriculum hour minimums, and lastly, our 90-day retention tracking and placement, leveraging the program's existing employer network to transition graduates into full-time long-term employment. Retention metrics, base wages, and weekly hours will be verified via direct employer payroll sign-offs at the 90-day post-training milestone to satisfy state performance requirements. And I will say that we have successfully completed this program in the past with nearly a 100% completion rate. So I'm open for questions.
Thank you. Any questions on this proposal?
Just some clarifications. I think you mentioned it's a 24-month, 2-year program?
Yes.
Okay. And the trainees are employed during the time of this, or for 2 years, they're waiting to get employed by?
No, so we have, as I said, 8-week sessions. We'll have about 5 of them in this particular contract. And so at the end of every 8 weeks, those trainees go on to placement.
Okay.
While we continue the next session.
And what is your success rate on that placement? I understand you've got
It was
approximately
like
100%.
90, I think 98.2% or something like
Okay.
that. It was very high 90s.
Okay, so what kind of jumped out to me with your proposal is that I didn't see a list of participating employers. Is that
Yeah,
usual
so
for this?
I represent the Steel Framing Industry Alliance, and we have formed an alliance of employers.
Right.
And those employers are general contractors, steel frame manufacturers, and fabricators.
Okay.
And
What do we see?
so we have a consortium.
No, because I asked the same question in pre-panel and
It's a new hire
it's a new hire
project.
component, so you don't have to.
So we do not include the participating employer demand list.
Okay. But we watch for afterwards
They're
for,
unemployed.
for their employment and placement. Okay.
Yeah, they still have to meet 90-day retention because we're on a 90-day retention on this one, isn't it? So they still have to meet retention, but it's not the retraining.
Right. Okay.
I did the same. I did the exact same. I was like, what's the employers? And I'm like, oh, it's new hire. Yeah. So-
Our last contract was also new hires.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I missed this, and thank you for being here. So I think I understand that your prior contract was more than 5 years ago, which is why those details are not here. You mentioned 98% and change. What was the amount of that contract and the number of trainees supported, if you could recall?
I think it was around 100 trainees. And I believe we finished the contract fast. So we went back for a modification. So if we take the original contract and the modification, I think it was close to $500,000. As we got an increase
Okay,
before the
thanks.
2 years was up.
Any other questions on this proposal?
Motion to approve Sturdy Quick Building Systems and an ETP funding amount of $598,425.
Second.
Right, so we have a first, we have a second. Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there look to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Hi.
All right, so we are all in favor, therefore the motion is adopted. You are funded.
Thank you all.
You're welcome.
All right, next up is tab 16. This is a proposal from the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the growth and success of businesses throughout Southern California. They serve a diverse network of more than 30,000 Hispanic-owned businesses, representing industries including healthcare, finance, manufacturing, construction, transportation, hospitality, technology, and professional services. They are a repeat contractor requesting $259,966 to train a total of 217 workers. Training will take place at participating employer locations in Los Angeles, Orange, and San Bernardino counties, and representatives from the chamber are here to answer any questions.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. I'm Ruben Franco, President and CEO of the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have had a ETP funding before, prior to this, so we appreciate the opportunity once again, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you and welcome back. Any
you.
questions? Comments?
Motion to approve the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and an ETP funding amount of $259,966.
Second.
All right, so I have a first, I have a second. We're fighting between who's going to go. I tell you, it was like this. I'm going, and she beat me to it. Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And any in the room? Does not look like it. So we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Emily Desai.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate
You're
it.
So why start now? I mean, I know you were, I'm just going to say it. You were number one on the panel packet, disappeared, costume change, and then wants to applaud the last one. All right, we are going to amendments,
Yes.
I think, next before we take a
Lest-
break.
Lest you think you don't have to hear from me, we're moving to tab 17.
Okay, and that's the fourth watch.
Correct.
And
Amendment.
I'm recusing.
All right, panel members, this is an amendment and the last project you all will hear today. This is from Fourth Watch Educational Services, DBA Machinist Career College. They are a multiple employer contractor requesting to add a second job number for 20 new hire multiple barrier trainees. This will reallocate approximately $160,780 in funding for these trainees. And they are requesting an effective date of July 1, 2026 in order to support this training demand. The representatives from Machinist Career College are available via Zoom if you have any questions for them.
Thank you. Does panel have any questions on this amendment? Just making sure they've been promoted as well on Zoom.
Want to double check, is it Danielle?
Yes.
Danielle, oh,
Hello,
Hi, we can hear her. Yeah.
did you need me to speak?
Did you want to hear from? We can. Yeah, if you want to give us just the overview, that would be good.
Sure, absolutely. My name is Danielle Skinner. I'm the president and founder of Machinist Career College, and I'm here to re-spark everyone's excitement for new hire. We have an incredible machinist training program that definitely the output is immediate hire. So we have we consistently have high enrollment in this program, and we would love to be able to add this to our current MEC contract that we've successfully completed at 100% for over 20 years, and be able to keep this progression going for our contracts as we come back over the next years, of course. And if there's any questions about how we plan to do this or anything like that, I'll be happy to share.
Right, thank you. Any questions?
No questions, just a comment. I believe the GoBiz team has worked with this applicant in the past and had great success, confident in the resources they have to be successful, and have had the chance to connect this partner with some local government, entities, et cetera. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this amendment?
Motion to approve Fourth Watch Educational Services, DBA Machinist Career College, ETP contract number ET 25-0287 to approve the amendment as amended.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Any public comment on this amendment?
there are no public comments online.
All right, and there looks to be none in the room, so we should move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye. All right, so we are all in favor. The motion is adopted and therefore the amendment has passed.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.
You're welcome. Yeah. So before we go into presentations, we are going to take a 10-minute. So 11:17, that's a really round number. Can we just do 13 to get to 11:20 so it's an easier number? Does that work? Because I can do 20. I don't know if I can do 7. Okay, so 11:20 back here, then I won't get told off by Charlie because it needs to be minimum 10, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, so we'll go for 11:20, back here 11:20, and then we will pick up with presentations. Thank you. I'm going to pull her along in a minute. All righty. Let's get this moving because this is the last bit between us and adjourning nearly. So it is 11:20. We are coming back to order and I'm pulling everyone back. We are now handing over to staff again for presentations, I believe, on the strategic plan and the like. I'm going to hand the mic over and the screen over.
All right. Good morning, everyone, panel members and chair. Today I will present the Employment Training Panel's 2024-27 Strategic Plan Phase 2 update and the 2024-25 annual report. Next slide, please. I'll first start with the strategic plan, where I'll walk through ETP's mission and vision, what ETP wants to achieve, and main areas of focus. Next slide. ETP's mission is to partner with California employers to create and sustain high-wage jobs. And its vision is to serve as the state's leading workforce training resource. These are supported by our core values of communication, empathy, integrity, trust, respect, and accountability. Moving on to goals and objectives in the next slide. ETP advances California's workforce through 5 primary goals and objectives: supporting California's workforce with sustainable jobs and strong career pathways, supporting small businesses through private-public partnerships, contributing to California's growth, communication and engagement in internal operations, and commitment to innovation in technology and data. Next slide. To make all this happen, ETP advances its work through partnerships across the state. These partnerships include legislatively mandated, administrative and budgetary, and other key partners, such as the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development and the Labor and Workforce Development Agency. These partnerships allow ETP to better serve businesses, industries, and workers, ultimately strengthening California's economy. Let's look at priority industries in the next slide. ETP monitors California's labor market in partnership with EDD's Labor Market Information Division, who track job trends, growth sectors, and wage patterns. This insight enables ETP to identify priority industries essential to the state's economic future. We'll look at key initiatives that strengthen the workforce in these critical sectors in the next slide. This slide shows labor forces and ETP's key focus areas for strengthening California's workforce, which includes guidelines such as medical skills training and alternative funds such as the Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Training Program. Additional details on pilots and guidelines, alternative funds, and other focus areas are available on the ETP website. Let's now take a closer look into some of our incentives and special programs in the next slide. The apprenticeship program expands skilled pathways statewide. The workforce literacy pilot supports English language learners, and the healthcare advancement funds strengthen training in public sector healthcare settings. Together, these programs support ETP's mission to create and sustain high-wage jobs and its vision to be California's leading workforce training resource. Next slide, please. ETP also advances its mission through key strategies and initiatives, such as the Agriculture Initiative, the Paid Family Leave Small Business Grant, the SEED Grant, the Respond Program, and the Clean Transportation Program. Next slide, please. In our final slide on the strategic plan, I will highlight ETP's commitment to innovation in technology and data through 3 key strategies. First is strengthening security through ETP's 2025-28 IT strategic plan. Second is deploying artificial intelligence using Microsoft Copilot to improve productivity. And last is enhancing contract management through the Cal E4 system. These efforts improve operational efficiency, data security, and service delivery. Next slide, please. As ETP looks ahead, we remain focused on expanding training that strengthens California's workforce and economic competitiveness. ETP is broadening partnerships, pursuing new funding, and monitoring trends such as AI and advanced manufacturing. We will also continue evaluating program impact by tracking wage outcomes. That concludes our strategic plan presentation. The full report is available on the ETP website. I now welcome any questions or comments.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Yeah. A good read, if you read the deeper one. It's an easy read though, is what I'm going to say. It's not like lots of red tape reading. It's a nice, easy to digest, understandable one. I appreciate it. It's good to give to
It
people.
is an easy read. Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to make a couple of comments because GoBiz really values its partnership with ETP and your leadership, Dr. Grimes. It's just on a personal level, it's always such a pleasure to come to this panel because you guys are always so positive and thoughtful and prepared in how you handle these proposals. And that's obviously reflected in the seriousness with which you take the strategic plan and your role in supporting industry and employment in California. So I really appreciate that. We have regional representatives that are across the state that are really kind of the front line of how we work with businesses. And for better or worse, California's incentive sort of structure is a lot more limited than many of our other competitive states. And we hear time and again about how that can put us on the back foot a little bit on kind of positioning California to, remain globally competitive. But one of the consistent things that we often hear is how effective ETP is and how much our business community really appreciates it. So I want to make sure that you all know that and just how important that strategic plan is when we think about the great sectors that we're looking to continue our leadership on and the role that this incentive plays. I mentioned earlier that GoBiz plans to be at SemiCon West, that when we heard from Applied Materials, we're really glad ETP is going to be there with the Division on Apprenticeship Standards, like in partnership together at a major California pavilion on the trade show floor to be out there talking to these businesses about why we care about this sector and importantly, why we care about the workforce of this sector and supporting it. It's just one example of, where I feel like there's such great opportunity to continue that partnership with ETP that GoBiz values so much. And one of the things too, we hear from businesses on, maybe the one thing, right, is just the challenges of application systems. And we deal with the same thing with CalCompetes. How do we make our systems and our sort of point of entry responsible to the taxpayer with everything we need and the accountability metrics and also the ease of use and application. So I also just wanted to call out specifically that it's great to see the ongoing improvements to your contract management system. Our team wanted to call that out in particular, but just kudos to you guys. We're really glad to have this partnership. And I think especially as we go into a gubernatorial transition, all the more that at the staff level, the senior staff level, we continue to really integrate where we can on our strategic priorities together as organizations so that regardless of who's in the governor's office, we are continuing to provide this great work to California. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next slide. We reviewed ETP's mission, vision, and what we want to achieve. Let's see how ETP met that last fiscal year. As part of the annual report presentation, I will be going over ETP's achievements, key numbers from last fiscal year, and some inspiring success stories. Next slide, please. Starting with ETP's timeline. Since its inception through 2025, ETP has invested over $2 billion in training for 1.6 million workers across 104,000 businesses. These figures demonstrate ETP's longstanding impact on California's workforce over the last 43 years. We'll review key highlights from the last fiscal year in the next slide. Starting with the SEED 2.5 grant, ETP awarded $1 million to 5 recipients, with projects running through April 2026. Next is the success in manufacturing. Manufacturing was the top supported industry, where $22.7 million in approved funding trained an estimated 23,000 trainees. This accounted for 42% of all completed trainees, who also saw higher wages than the prior fiscal year. Let's move on to priority industries in the next slide. As noted in the prior slide, manufacturing led in the top 3 industries. Construction followed, and healthcare and social assistance ranked 3rd. Next slide, please. So let's review last fiscal year's annual performance. ETP placed 54,912 trainees, meaning individuals successfully completed ETP-funded training and met the program's employment and wage requirement. ETP managed a $96.9 million budget and oversaw a total of 882 contracts. These figures reflect ETP's reach and efforts. Now let's move on to how some of our programs did last fiscal year in the following slides. Next slide, please. ETP continues its commitment to small businesses. Small businesses made up 67% of core funded contracts, which funded over $29 million to serve over 19,000 trainees in over 1,500 businesses. This reflects ETP's efforts in supporting a vital sector of the economy. Next slide, please. ETP made strong progress in high unemployment areas, training 15,000 individuals with $18.9 million in approved funding, resulting in a 5.4% increase in placed trainees from the prior fiscal year. Next slide, please. Moving to apprenticeships, $23 million in approved funding supported an estimated 18,000 trainees. ETP also continues partnering statewide to advance the governor's goal of 500,000 apprentices by 2029. Next slide, please. ETP funded $2.3 million to create over 581 new jobs, expanding opportunities for workers and families across the state. Next slide. ETP also remains committed to empowering justice-involved individuals through training that supports stable employment. ETP approved $516,000 to train an estimated 132 participants. Richmond Build, shown on the slide, is one example of this work. Next slide, please. The Veterans Training Program equips those who have served with skills for their next career. ETP approved $45,000 to train 29 veterans, supporting their transition into the workforce. Next slide. ETP continues to help farmers and agriculture businesses through the Agriculture Initiative. We provided over $3 million in approved funding across 11 Agriculture Initiative contracts that is estimated to train over 3,000 trainees. Next slide. Now let's look at wage progression, which is a key part of ETP's mission to help workers move into higher paying, more secure jobs. To determine these numbers, ETP tracks trainee post-retention wages using contractor self-reported data. Retrainee wages averaged $39.76, a 12% increase from the prior fiscal year. New hires averaged $23.24, a 27% increase from the prior fiscal year. These outcomes show that ETP's training supports stronger earnings and more stable employment. Next slide, please. Moving into a new section of the annual report is program effectiveness. To meet the requirements of California Unemployment Insurance Code 10205G, ETP must compare trainee wages 12 months before and after training. For the first time, ETP partnered with EDD to gather this wage data, using 3 full fiscal years of records to capture the pre- and post-training periods. The analysis focuses on placed trainees who met wage and retention requirements and are considered fully served by ETP. This marks a significant advancement in how ETP can measure its impact. This analysis covers fiscal year 2022-23 and includes 27,599 trainees with complete wage records, which represents 63% of all placed trainees. As shown in the pie chart, 73 experienced wage increases and 27% saw decreases. Keep in mind the time frame of the analysis, which is 12 months prior to the start of training and 12 months after. ETP does not have access to external factors that influence wage outcomes, such as broader economic conditions, industry trends, or individual career choices. Because this data reflects fiscal year 22-23, some wage regression may also be linked to lingering post-pandemic effects. Overall, the data shows that ETP training supports higher earnings and economic mobility, with the majority of trainees experiencing wage progression. Next slide, please. So who did ETP serve last fiscal year? Looking at trainee demographics in the slide, over half of trainees held a high school diploma or GED, and the largest age group was 25 to 34 years old. ETP served a diverse workforce, with the largest share identifying as Hispanic or Latino. On to success stories in our final slides. Next slide, please. Our first success story features Henderson Farms, a long-established farm management company in Arbuckle. As a single employer operating in a high unemployment area, Henderson Farms represents a small business within California's agriculture sector. ETP provided $60,000 to support training for 50 workers. Their growth and development manager, Jonna Lee Dunn, shared that ETP support helped employees gain confidence, advance skills, and prepare for higher level roles, such as a foreman now completing a Spanish language management course. Moving on to our next success story in the next slide. TTM Technologies North America LLC, founded in 1999 in Costa Mesa, is a single employer contract within the manufacturing industry that produces advanced circuit boards for major electronic manufacturers. Jessica Perales, HR manager, shared the story of Andrew, who advanced from an entry-level machine operator to a higher-level role within 6 weeks through hands-on instruction, mentorship, and certification. ETP funding also helped the company strengthen its California's workforce and continue developing employees across skills and leadership areas. These are just 2 success stories I shared that highlight ETP's impact and achievements. Additional success stories are available on the ETP website. Next slide, please. This concludes the annual report presentation. I hope these programs and success stories demonstrate ETP's impact. In the coming year, ETP will continue advancing DEIA, improving processes, aligning structures, supporting small businesses and partners, and promoting innovation. The full annual report is available on the ETP website. The slides for this presentation, as well as the strategic plans presentation, can be found in today's panel packet on the ETP website. Thank you all very much for your time. I will open it up for any questions or comments.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Just well done. Thank you for this, both of reports. A little concerning for me on the wage regression, and it is something I want to take up at probably policy committee to see what we can do to prevent that from happening and go from 27% to 0. But I know that's not possible. Like a single digit then, but I really appreciate the information that you've presented. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from panel on it? All right, it's coming to that time of day. It is time to switch to, usually when I get crickets, that time for panel members to request any agenda items for future panel meetings. Nope, I'm getting shake of a head. Okay, so I'm going to switch it over. I can see Phil's ready. He knows what's coming. Okay, it's that time of day. It's public comment. We're right near the end. The opportunity for the public to address issues not scheduled on today's agenda. And remember, we cannot act, but we will listen on these and we will refer to staff review and possible further panel action if we feel necessary. All right. Phil, you're at the podium. I will let you
Great
start.
job on the presentations. Good morning, Chair Betancourt, Dr. Grimes, panel members, ETP staff, and all stakeholders listening to or watching today's testimony. My name is Philip Herrera. I am the managing partner of Herrera Company and chairman of the Coalition for ETP and Jobs. The coalition represents committed stakeholders, including MECs, colleges, consultants, labor partners, who champion ETP as the nation's most effective job training program. I'm here today to make public testimony about SB 1059. a coalition-sponsored bill, and the effort to modernize ETP's record-keeping and compliance rules. I want to begin on a personal note and say that it's been a great experience working with ETP leadership, the Labor Agency, and Senator Archuleta's office on this bill. Everyone involved has approached these discussions thoughtfully and with a genuine interest in making its strong program even stronger. The basic idea behind our recommendation is pretty simple. ETP can preserve accountability and compliance while reducing administrative requirements that no longer reflect how employers deliver and document training. Today, employers, unions, colleges, and training organizations increasingly rely on learning management systems, electronic attendance records, webinars, and blended learning. ETP already accepts some electronic records, but the rules still require contractors to duplicate information, recreate paper-style records, or report on data that does not materially improve oversight. Our recommendations offer a practical path forward. They include allowing MECs to use LMSs, eliminating unnecessary daily reporting for multi-day courses, modernizing the train-to-trainee ratio requirements, improving the reporting of asynchronous online course completions, and accepting course crosswalks that connect an employer's course titles to ETP's approved training categories. These and other improvements would reduce the necessary work for all applicants and ETP staff, promote consistency, align with the rollout of CalEForce, while allow everyone to focus on meaningful compliance issues. Finally, regardless of whether Governor Newsom signs SB 1059 into law, we look forward to continuing this work through the regulatory process in collaboration with ETP staff, its legal counsel, and the ETP Policy Committee. Like you, I believe in good government, and I'm ready to dedicate my time and energy to supporting an agency that makes a real difference for California workers. Thank you and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Phil. Do we have any other public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there's only 2 members of the public, and Nathan's not getting up. So we are coming to that time of the day then. I just wanted public comment. I don't need question. No, we're not doing questions and public comment. You know better, Mr. Herrera, on that one. All right, it's that time of day, I guess, because we don't seem to have any more public comment, though Phil would like question and answer with Phil, but we're not going to do that. We are going to move on. We have no public comment online, correct? No one's raising those little Zoom hands.
There's no one online.
Okay, so it's that time of day where I'm asking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Mike sounds so unenthusiastic there. Okay, we need a roll call vote it, and then we should be able to. Let's vote.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Emily Desai.
Aye. All righty, so it's 11:44. We are calling this meeting to end, and we are adjourning this meeting. See you next month.